Spring, 1892. William H. Danforth graduates from Washington University in St. Louis. His father gives him this advice: get into a business that fills a need for lots of people, something they need all year round, in good times and bad. Good times and bad. The times for new business ambitions couldn't have been worse. 1893. The United States enters one of the worst depressions in its history. Thousands of businesses, hundreds of banks go under. Unemployment reaches 18%. During these challenging days, William H. Danforth joins a feed store operation in which he'll soon become a partner. And in January 1894, the Robinson Danforth Commission Company is formed. Born of challenge, steeled by adversity, destined for constant and rapid change, this new company begins its 100-year journey, its continual evolution into what will become Ralston Purina Company. The first products of this company are mixed with shovels and sewn by hand in 175-pound sacks at the new mill at 12th and Gratiot in St. Louis. But these traditional 19th century agricultural products are just part of a wave of businesses and products aimed at a new national industrial market. St. Louis is a city of established economic strength, with its river trade and a vast rail network serving the nation. 1894. Union Station is completed, confirming the city's role as a railroad giant. Brown Shoe Company and Emerson Electric are formed. And Anheuser-Busch introduces Michelob to complement its flagship Budweiser. Nationally, American Electrical Novelty and Manufacturing Company begins using the name Eveready. And a company called Beechnut is selling hams. But in the midst of economic recovery, disaster strikes the Robinson Danforth Commission. May 27, 1896. The worst tornado in St. Louis history. Amongst its devastation, the mill at 12th and Gratiot is totally destroyed. Company workmen flee the building and only escape by clinging to iron supports of a nearby railroad viaduct. But signaling the future company course that will always cope with adversity, Danforth obtains a loan to rebuild and begins an inspired new period of growth. The 1890s witnessed a tremendous public interest in nutrition and health. Kellogg's and other cereal giants will emerge at this time. And Danforth capitalizes on the trend with products like Brain Bread and a new line of breakfast cereals. They gain the endorsement of a Dr. Ralston, a health guru with over 800,000 followers. The feed business continues to grow, supported by the popular slogan, Purina, where purity is paramount. And as Danforth gains control of the company around the turn of the century, his Ralston cereals and Purina feeds are so well known and liked that it's an easy decision to rename his business. In 1902, it becomes Ralston Purina Company. In 1904. In St. Louis's 1,300-acre forest park, the World's Fair, gateway for a new century of progress. At the fair, Ralston Purina begins its reputation for innovative product promotion by giving away free shopping bags with its new corporate logo, the checkerboard, and providing convenient portable light for the fairgoers, Eveready's electric hand torch. Energized by the marvels seen at the fair, the nation begins to move forward. St. Louis is the nation's fourth largest city at this time, and a leader in the manufacturing of shoes, stoves, streetcars, and other goods. Purina feed sales are booming as new plants are built, and the company's innovative mixing, Warehouse and product delivery systems offer convenience to newly prosperous farmers. And as business grows throughout the nation, the Beech-Nut Company is introducing several new products, including chewing gum. But in a few short years, turning the country's attention away from progress, the devastation of the war to end all wars. A major supplier of materials for the nation's war effort is Union Carbide, owner of Eveready Battery. St. Louis companies are principal manufacturers of airplanes used during the war, giving rise to the imminent development of Lambert Field and furthering the city's position as a growing national and international presence. After the war, there's a nationwide business slump, especially for farmers who lose wartime price supports. But Ralston Purina reacts to the changing times. Responding to farmers' concerns about nutrition and productivity, Ralston establishes the center of its research operations, Purina Farms in Gray Summit, Missouri. This site and its pet nutrition research will become one of the cornerstones of the company's pet food operation and one of its most successful public relations programs. And the company continues to grow with the purchase of Rye Crisp crackers in 1926. The energy shown by Ralston during the post-war period is matched by the entire nation. The Roaring Twenties become a time of unparalleled prosperity, as well as a time of unparalleled social change. It is a time of baseball and bootleg liquor, and a time of new marvels in the home, like electric refrigerators and washing machines. In St. Louis, the magnificent Fox Theater and the Grand Chase Hotel are completed, and hundreds of new businesses, restaurants, realtors, insurance agencies, beauty shops, and more exemplify a growing metropolitan center. New manufacturers are starting up and aggressively seeking new markets. In 1924, the Continental Baking Company is formed, and its new products include Wonder Bread, the idea for the name and design coming from a balloon race, and Hostess products. Advertising becomes a big business aimed at a prosperous nation. The Eveready Hour is a popular variety show on radio. And Eveready, Continental, Beech-Nut, and Ralston all are advertising their products with ads in the Ladies' Home Journal and the Saturday Evening Post. But on October 24, 1929, this fantastic decade comes to a crashing halt. The Black Tuesday stock market crash begins the nation's slide into the Great Depression of the 1930s. During this dark era, unemployment will reach 25%. In a 4-year period up to 1933, 15,000 banks will fail, and human suffering follows a nation's ailing economy. As the nation struggles to climb out of this terrible time, business, supported by Roosevelt's New Deal program, struggles to survive and prosper, providing new products and programs for the good of the country and its people. 1930, Continental Baking Company gains real competitive advantages with product breakthroughs. In Chicago, regional manager Jimmy Dewar uses shortcake pans only employed during strawberry season to introduce Twinkies. Sold 2 to a pack for 5 cents, Twinkies provide an inexpensive snack product for year-round consumption during the Depression years. Twinkies are the greatest idea since sliced bread, which Continental also introduces in 1930, giving out free samples wrapped in wax paper. Wonder will add key vitamins and minerals to their bread during this time, helping to eliminate crippling diseases such as beriberi and pellagra. The Beech-Nut Company introduces 13 strained varieties of baby food, and Amelia Earhart has beech-nut emblazoned on her plane during one of her historic flights. Eveready offers prints of its popular magazine ads for 10 cents. And even in the midst of a depression, 70,000 dimes are sent in. Clearly, consumer product companies are doing whatever it takes to make a sale in these tough times. Ralston Purina is bringing out all of its guns to build product success. The famous cowboy star Tom Mix begins promoting hot Ralston cereal on his radio show in 1934. An offer of a wooden six-shooter premium prompts over 200,000 consumer orders. Following this success, Wheat Chex is introduced in 1937, Ralston's first ready-to-eat, bite-sized cereal. And during Admiral Byrd's second expedition to the South Pole, supplies include 50 tons of dog chow checkers to feed and fuel his transportation for that dangerous journey, his sled dogs. As our country begins to climb out from under its economic problems, Ralston Purina is part of the solution for our nation's farmers, providing discount prices and deferred payment programs on feeds, all part of a massive effort to stabilize and strengthen our nation and prepare it for even greater challenges and dangers ahead.
December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
The entire country, people and businesses, gear up and join together to fight the war. Beech-Nut is a major supplier of rations for our soldiers in Europe. Eveready radio batteries are a vital part of our Army's communications. Ralston promotes Dogs for Defense and matches donations for this effort. And in 1943, Continental Baking returns to unsliced bread because the steel and blades used for slicing are needed for military equipment. In St. Louis, military aircraft is a major industry, employing 11,000 people during its peak wartime period. Millions of cartridges are produced daily at the St. Louis Ordnance Plant. Chevrolet and Scullin steel plants are also converted to armament factories, producing artillery shells and bombs for U.S. and British forces. And Mallinckrodt Chemical plays a key role in refining uranium used for the first atomic bomb. Victory celebrations signal not only the end of the war, but the beginning of a tremendous growth period for the American economy. As the Marshall Plan and other initiatives open world markets to U.S. businesses, Ralston invests in agricultural products and manufacturing for Europe and Mexico. A nation tired of war is ready to spend for consumer goods that are now widely available. 1948. Famous Bar opens a branch store in Clayton, and Hampton Village becomes St. Louis's first shopping plaza, signaling the development of retail, corporate, and residential areas that will grow beyond the St. Louis city limits. And as the nation moves into the prosperous 50s, the baby boom fuels an exploding new economy. Mass consumerism is driven by fast foods, of which Jack in the Box is one of the first. Credit cards, shopping centers, and the golden age of television. Continental Baking starts growing their products through memorable new advertising, using famous spokesmen and classic ad slogans. And while the U.S. population is increasing dramatically, so is the pet population. In 1956, a new extrusion process allows Ralston Purina to introduce Purina Dog Chow, the first extruded pet food for grocery store distribution. Within 16 months, dog chow is the market leader, and it becomes so popular it has to be rationed to grocery store customers. Technology and new products are invigorating every arena of business. Russia is in space, and innovations in high-tech electronics are becoming part of everyday life. 1957, Eveready creates the first standard alkaline battery. And in 1958, Eveready produces the first batteries for transistor radios for a customer named Sony. In St. Louis, McDonnell Aircraft is becoming a major player in the vital U.S. aerospace industry. Wonder Bread continues its successful advertising, now building strong bodies 12 ways. And making their debut for Ralston during the 50s, Rice Chex and Corn Chex. As a new decade dawns and America enters the new frontier, exciting and challenging new times await the nation and Ralston Purina. But on January 10, 1962, the first day that Ralston is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, there is a tragic dust explosion and fire at the St. Louis plant, killing 2 workers. Showing the spirit that has characterized the company since its beginning, employees regroup, recover, and get business back on track. The period we know as the 60s truly begins in late 1963. It will be a decade of assassinations and civil rights and anti-war riots, and rock and roll sets a tumultuous beat for the years ahead. It will be a decade of growth for Ralston. Agricultural products continue to be the company's major business, but pet food sales are rising dramatically. As the nation comes upon its first summer of love, Purina Dog Chow positions itself for category leadership for decades to come with
All you add is love.
Those students cry, "Make love, not war." The conflict in Vietnam escalates. Government spending escalates too. Inflation becomes a fact of life, and the stock market boom begins to make diversification and acquisitions attractive. Ralston acquires Van Camp in 1963, Foodmaker and Jack in the Box in 1968, and Keystone in 1969, which will open to the public a year later. Other companies are not standing still. Eveready introduces lithium technology to the battery business. Continental Baking, which is purchased by ITT in 1968, is bringing out such products as Suzy Q's, Ding Dongs, and Ho-Hos. Growth and prosperity in St. Louis is symbolized by new construction. Busch Stadium and the Arch are completed in the mid-60s. And in 1967, work begins on Ralston Purina's headquarters tower building. The 60s are turbulent times, socially and politically, and they set the stage for turbulent economic times ahead. As Ralston Purina moves into the 70s, grocery products brands, for the first time, begin contributing more profit than the agricultural side of the company. Attempting to boost earning opportunities, Ralston continues to diversify with new products and types of products.
Cookies are not for breakfast. Oh, heavens, no. Unless they are my cereal, you know.
Ralston introduces many enduring consumer brands during this period. But with such aggressive marketing, some products will not catch on, like frozen convenience foods, mushroom farming, mariculture, and the floral business, just to name a few. Other new enterprises are more successful. Emerging from Ralston's new venture management department, a new company that will eventually be called Protein Technologies International. And during this period, Ralston purchases Bremner Biscuit Company, one of the nation's leading manufacturers of private label cookies and crackers. In 1974, Ralston makes a strong civic gesture with the purchase of the St. Louis Blues hockey team, housed in their traditional arena, renamed the Checker Dome. But now the nation is facing new types of challenges. Those of self-examination of its beliefs and its place in the world. The energy crisis, 3 Mile Island, and stagflation slow growth and dim the nation's expectations. However, for the most part, Ralston is managing these troubled waters successfully. The 70s are years of consecutive record sales and earnings, only halted in 1979 when, despite record sales from grocery products, earnings dipped below the prior year for the first time in 8 years. This setback signals a change for the company, and change it will. The 1980s become a time of dramatic change for the nation and for Ralston Purina Company. Foreign economies are stepping up to share the world stage, while foreign investors are buying up U.S. real estate. And junk bonds fuel buyouts, takeovers, and other predatory moves on U.S. companies. While competitors like Nabisco, General Foods, Beatrice, and Standard Brands are falling victim to the new phenomenon of corporate takeovers and mergers, Ralston moves quickly to protect itself through an aggressive plan of divestitures and acquisitions. Within a 4-year period, starting in 1983, Ralston sells Foodmaker and Jack in the Box, Van Camp, the St. Louis Blues, and in a move that breaks tradition with the foundation of the company, divests Purina Mills and U.S. agricultural concerns. The nation continues a slow, steady period of low inflation growth, with record levels of stock market growth that not even a 1987 market crash will slow significantly. In St. Louis Center opens. Union Station reopens. And prospects for riverfront development abound, representing the concentration on revitalizing the city's downtown area. And Ralston implements the significant moves that will transform itself into a predominantly consumer products company. In 1984, Ralston purchases Continental Baking Company and its leading Wonder and Hostess brands. Under Ralston ownership, earnings will quickly double for CBC. In 1986, on the heels of the Purina Mills sale, Ralston acquires the Eveready Battery Company. The Eveready consumer lineup of batteries and flashlights provides Ralston Purina with a powerful new array of popular products to drive future earnings. And in 1989, continuing the corporate evolution, Ralston purchases the Beech-Nut Nutrition Company, the nation's second largest manufacturer of foods for babies and toddlers. And as a new Ralston Purina enters the 90s, a complex and challenging new business environment is reinforced by a new corporate representative, one who, despite all obstacles, will help keep the company going and going and going.
Energizer was never invited to their playoffs. Going.
Stop the bunny, please.
And going. They keep going and going.
And the agony of defeat. Now look out! Look at him go!
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer.
You've never seen motorcycle cops like this.
EB. The Energizer Bunny is the star of some of the most memorable, best-liked, and most effective commercials of the decade. Astute organizational moves and acquisitions prepare Ralston for survival in the difficult decade ahead. It is a new world that the company faces. Walls are tumbling, and new alliances are forming. At the same time the Soviet Union is falling apart, it is giving birth to new market economies, along with the rest of Eastern Europe, China, and the Pacific Rim. And Japan's economic strength looms larger than ever before. Responding to the new world economy, Eveready Battery strengthens its already formidable global presence with worldwide expansion and acquisitions. In 1993, Breckenridge Ski Resort is purchased, giving the company 2 world-class ski vacation experiences to offer consumers. This period is extremely challenging for American business. Many companies restructure. big brands come under attack, while every manufacturer faces a consumer shopping for good value at the right price. So Ralston initiates corporate moves to enhance stock and shareholder value, and to position the company for greater strength and flexibility, including a program for Continental Baking Company to trade independently, and a spin-off of a new company comprised of cereals, snacks, baby foods, and the ski resort operations. It is a radically different new environment for these new companies to operate in. Power has shifted from the manufacturer to new sophisticated retailers. New types of products like super premiums and store brands threaten existing national brands. It is a new marketplace with new rules, new players, and new ways of delivering products to consumers. All areas of Ralston begin to focus on new efficiencies throughout company operations. Each of these initiatives have helped Ralston to prepare for survival as much as success in new and challenging times. Because it is survival as much as success that Ralston Purina can be proud of. Just as the city of St. Louis, home to Ralston, continues to cherish and build on its foundation as a hub of rail and barge transport, and to adjust its urban landscape and economic mix to change with the times, Ralston continues to change too. For in the Darwinian struggle of the business world, Ralston, through constant change and adaptation to the challenge of the times, has succeeded by surviving for a century. The company's mission, in essence, has remained unchanged for 100 years now. The company continues to fill needs for lots of people, giving them products and services they need year-round, in good times and bad. Throughout its history, Ralston Purina, its businesses, and its people have always faced difficult and challenging times. It's been said that there is no past and there is no future. There is just the present for the people who are living in it. Throughout its 100 years, the people of Ralston Purina have dealt with the challenges of their present and have helped the company to survive and indeed thrive. And as Ralston enters its second 100 years, there can be this guarantee, that the certainty of challenge and the inevitability of change will be met. And this century-long tradition of adaptation will mean survival and the opportunity for success for Ralston Purina Company.